Start and having to wait, but start sometime. Nope, just getting started. I am Kelly. Elizabeth, nice to meet you. Ready? All right. Okay, it's that time again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the December 2022 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. My name is Kelly Donovan. I'm the chair of this board. For those of you who never attended one of our meetings, I'll quickly explain how the meeting is conducted. First, we'll ask the applicant to come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and discuss your proposed project or request for variance. Floor will, after that's done, we'll open the floor for anyone who would like to speak in favor or against the proposed project. Once everyone's had an opportunity to speak, the public hearing will be officially closed and no new testimony will be taken. After public hearings have been held, the board will deliberate and make a decision on each case. Public is welcome to stay through deliberations, but again, no public input is permitted. For those applicants who wish not to stay through deliberations, planning department staff will be available tomorrow with the board's decisions. Zoning Board of Appeals is a 5-member board. Tonight we have 4 members present, constituting a quorum. I will now call the roll. Ms. Resnitti, Ms. Bucci, Mr. Landers, Mr. Donovan is present, and Mr. Matzo is excused. I believe we got a meeting minutes for last month. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at those? Any comments, corrections, clarifications? Okay, any motion to approve? Okay, could I get a second on that? Second from Ms. Bucci. All in favor? Aye, unanimous. All right. And that gets us to our first case of the evening. 2 minutes early. Okay. Very good. Everyone who's got a mic, make sure that when you're speaking, get it near to yourself and make sure the green light is lit. If you don't want to be heard, you can click to the minute. If the applicant would like to get things set up, that's fine. We're eagerly anticipating your info.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Jacob Von Mecca with Woodham Planning and Design, here representing the Pike United Group collaborative effort on the Water Street Garage redevelopment project. I was here for you last month and gave you a brief overview of the variances that we're requesting for this building. Can you hear me? Okay. Just to recap, it's a 10-story building where the first 5 stories will be parking structure to replace the parking garage that was recently demolished. And above that will be another 5 stories of residential units. This is a project that's in partnership with the city. And we're looking for 3 variances as listed here. One for the lot coverage, where the allowable coverage is 90% and we are requesting 100%. With a minimum side setback of required 20 feet, and we are requesting 0 feet. And a maximum building height where the allowable is 120 feet and we are requesting variance for 125 feet. And just some background on this, the previous structure that was there, the old Water Street garage, was built out to the property lines. It had 100% lot coverage. It actually extended beyond the property lines and cantilevered out over the sidewalk. So we are actually pulling the structure back to be within the actual property limits. And that covers really both the lot coverage and minimum side setback. And that's just to accommodate the number of cars and parking spaces that the city has requested that we provide with this project. And the building height, we actually don't expect the building to be the full 125 feet that we're asking for the variance for. It's more that there's still some variation in the structural design of the structure. And so we're asking that so we have a comfortable cushion for the architects and structural engineers that if they need that extra 5 feet, they have it available to them.
How tall was the previous structure overall?
I was only 5 stories, I believe, so it was about half the size. For reference, though, the DoubleTree Hotel, which is directly adjacent to this site, is 10 stories and will actually be slightly taller. I believe they're closer to 127 or 128 feet tall. So this will be shorter than the adjacent DoubleTree Hotel.
Okay. Any questions from members of the board? Okay. Very good. Thank you. Stand by. Have we opened fully the public hearing for this previous?
We did open the public hearing at the last meeting. Just double checking whether or not it was closed.
Let me table it.
We did notice though last time, so you opened the public hearing, here, and then you tabled it. So
Okay.
we can assume that it was left open, so you can.
Okay, then I would move that we actively open the public hearing portion for 183 Water Street. Could I get a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you very much. Anyone present wishing to speak in favor or against the proposed project, please feel free to. We don't have anybody calling in on the mobile.
We do not, no. We did not receive any letters.
Okay, we did get a, you get a 239 from us?
We did get 239 comments. The concerns pertain mostly to the traffic impacts.
Right.
Which the planning commission will be addressing.
Yeah, as I recall, the comments were mostly at the planning commission.
That's correct. Yeah.
And I didn't notice anything that we had a direct impact on.
They did not have concerns with the height or the setbacks.
Okay. Good. And when you did say that the planning commission has gone through seeker,
The planning commission issued a negative declaration for this project under seeker.
they made a negative declaration.
Correct.
Okay, so that part is done. So I guess at this point, with no one present wishing to speak in favor or opposed, we could close the public hearing for 183. Could I get a second for that motion? Ms. Bucci, all those in favor? Aye. So now we can move on to the criteria for, we got three area variances, maximum lot coverage, minimum side setback, and maximum height. And we have to look at the criteria Is it an undesirable change? Is there a reasonable alternative? Is it a substantial request? Does it have an adverse impact on physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood? And was it self-created? Okay. Let's kind of discuss all of these kind of at the same time. Is it an undesirable change to allow the 100% lot coverage, the 0 setback, or the 125-foot height? I would say that's just to start this off, current coverage is 100% plus. So I don't think it would be undesirable to stay at that coverage, or actually less than the 100 plus, getting to 100. Minimum side setback in the downtown area, 0 feet is more common than actually observing the required setbacks. So I wouldn't think that would be hugely
Kelly,
undesirable.
just for the record, that's a rear setback. That should be the rear setback is 0 feet.
Okay, I stand corrected. 20 feet is the requirement, 0 is the requested. My statement would be the same. In the downtown area, the rear sides, but thank you for the clarification. And I realize the height is not set in stone currently. But that they're probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of the maximum required. And I understand the desire to have some wiggle room. So 125 versus 120 that is a very small difference when you're talking 10 stories, 5 feet. So any discussion on the undesirable nature of any of those criteria? Okay. Reasonable alternative. I guess the reasonable alternative would be to meet the required zoning requirements of the district. I think it shows a reasonable alternative in getting back to the 100% rather than continuing with the cantilever, encroaching on the airspace over and above the area covered by the lot lines. But I do believe that the project is trying to take advantage of the maximum property available. I mean, it makes sense when you're looking to replace a parking area that has now been unused for how long? For a considerable amount of time. I'm pretty satisfied that alternatives have been looked into, but that the needs of the project kind of dictate how much space and the rear setbacks that are required. Any other discussion on the reasonable alternatives?
No, I would just like to state that I think that it's all within reason, all
Okay.
three. And I do appreciate the comparison to how high the DoubleTree Hotel is. It's a good visual thing.
Yeah, that does put it into nice visual terms that everybody can relate to. Onto the third item, is it a substantial request? Any one of these? And I would argue that it's not based on previous use of the land. The intensity of the use of the land with whether it's lot coverage, the rear setback. It's going to fit in with the use of the land in that district. And I don't think the requested, 100% versus 90 on the lot coverage, I don't think that's substantial, especially in this case. Or the 0 setback where 20 is the required. I don't think in this case it's substantial. And I say the same for the height. And they may actually come in under the excess height. And whether or not, any other discussion on that part? Okay. And whether or not this granting these variances would adversely impact the physical or environmental conditions of the area. I can't see how they will. The renderings we see here compared to our own memories of the area. I think it's gonna be an improvement overall. It's gonna be a better look than the 5-story. And if you blank out the space above, it looks similar to the previous. But I think seeing the activity, the inherent activity related to a new building project is gonna be positive impact physically and environmentally in the area. And whether or not this was a self-created hardship. Sure, on the behalf of the city and the applicant, it's something that's pretty much needed in the area. So I'm satisfied that the self created aspect is not a problem. All right, would anyone like to load a motion to us? We're good to go into a motion now? I think we covered the bases.
Yep.
Okay.
Motion to grant an area variance where the maximum lot coverage required is 90%, 100% is requested, and where the minimum side setback is 20, and the requested is 0, and the max principal building height required is 120, and the requested is 125.
Okay, I would just, the setback is the rear rather
was
than the
gonna say.
side, just with that amendment. Can I get a second to that motion? Ms. Bucci with a second. All those in favor? Aye, that's unanimous. Thank you very much for coming back. Good to see you again. Good luck going forward.
Thank you.
Okay. Second item on our agenda, the YWCA 45 Carroll. Is it 2 area variances? 3.
There are two,
Two.
one for height and one for side setback.
Side setback. We're not going to do any opening of that.
No, the applicant has requested that, to have this case tabled.
So we can hold this over to next month's meeting,
Correct.
which will be the first week of
January.
January. Do we know roughly the date?
Right now, it looks like the first Tuesday in January, which would be the 3rd.
January 3rd.
I'll just state right now, so it's on the record, I have to recuse myself from that case because our firm is representing the applicant.
Okay. So we'll have to make sure that all other members are present on the checking availability. All right, very good. Do I need to move to put this on the schedule for next?
You need a motion and a
Okay.
vote to table it.
Motion to table the YWCA application 45 Carroll Street. From this meeting, hold it over till next month's, the first meeting of 2023. Can I get a second? All in favor? Okay, thank you very much. They'll probably be first on the schedule unless they request other.
They will most likely be first, yes.
And that concludes our official business, unless we have some other business.
You have no other business.
Okay.